Hello Internet, hello Kickstarter. It's time for the video update that I promised you all earlier in the week. We're going to take a look at some of the physical rewards. I hope you had a chance to check out the video of the mobile flight controls. The game is coming along great, prototyping some new skills, putting more planes in the game. I've got the final shader for the plane set up and in, so now that F4 Phantom that I posted earlier with the camo paint scheme, you can change that green to any paint color you want. Which is really cool, and we'll talk about how that works with the 3D prints here in a second. First off, I've got Hank's calendar. They look awesome. These were a big hit at Tailhook, as they are every year. Hank's been doing these, as you know, for over 35 years. Bunch of cool color stuff. So those will be getting shipped out soon. Also, we've got the challenge coins. I've got a prototype, which I'm going to try to show off without it getting so blurry that it's no good. But this, me holding it here gives you an approximate sense of scale. They're hard enamel fronts, and the backs will be as well. Right now it just has some contact info and some info about the coin. But it will have the back will be the F-15 design that I posted in one of the early videos. So if you haven't seen that, check that out. The front side has the Wild Wings logo. They've got a good heft to them. You see they're pretty thick. They feel really good. And they have the NFC chip embedded in them, which, if you're not familiar with NFC, it's like the new fancy version of RFID. So how this works is most of the new cell phones have an NFC chip reader inside of them. So you just touch this coin to your phone, and it'll unlock content in the game or take you to the website or whatever we want. So we can make a bunch of them. We're going to be doing these with some of the foundations we're working with, so there will be custom coins for those groups if they want to have a collectible challenge coin with their logo on one side and ours on the other, or one of our aerocature planes, what have you. So that can tie into the game, or like I said, information and take you to an app, whatever. So those are really cool. Those are ready to get shipped out. And last is the 3D prints. Now, they sent me a couple of the F-15s in the new Desert Eagle paint scheme, and I wanted you to get a sense of the scale and the color and the finish, because this is something that we've been working with them on, of getting the saturation of the color right. Early on, some of the prints looked a little chalky, and it was just because I wasn't oversaturating them for the print process. So these are sandstone, and the printer at Sandboxer places every single grain and dyes them as it goes. So they come out painted. We don't have to send them out for painting. That's not part of the additional cost. So any color we put in the game gets printed right here. And down the road, you'll even be able to get your plane with your paint scheme and your paint color that you pick and your insignia printed straight out of the game exactly the way you want it, which is really cool. But this is a couple of the prototypes that we've been doing. These got printed vertically, so there's slight banding from the printing process. But it's almost indiscernible once they're sealed like this. It looks really cool. And they have a great feel, and all the little details, like the little claws, are visible. Here's an Altoids tin as a scale reference. Other mints are available. We are not sponsored by Altoids. They're just around. Maybe we should be. So here is the F-15. This is the bigger scale. If you were at Tailhook and you saw these, we had some in the smaller scale, which is one I have here that broke in shipping. That's part of the reason we're going with the bigger ones. This is the F5 MiG-28 paint scheme. The MiG-28 was one that looked really chalky early on because it's like very dark gray in the game, because they're black. But in order for black to get printed and look good, we had to really crank the saturation up so it's almost like a really deep blue or deep purple. It's probably bleeding into my shirt, so it's not going to come out, and the sun went behind a cloud. This is the third video, and I've rebalanced the exposure every single time. So this is as good as it's going to get, sorry. I'll take some photos of these, but the F-15 looks awesome. Looks really good. We had an A-10 printed at this scale that's pristine. It came out perfect. So we had that one at Tailhook. I can't remember if that was one that we ended up giving away as one of the contests for playing Eagle Strike or not. So the bigger scale is a lot more durable. These are really awesome. So our Sandboxer store is also going to be going live in the next week or two. in addition to everybody who Kickstarted's orders going out. So those will be getting printed and shipped very, very soon. Really, as soon as there's room in the print queue, those will go in. So if you haven't gotten one of these and now you're filled with regret after seeing how cool they are, our Sandboxer store will be going live soon. I'll post that as an update when that's live, and you can get this one, the Desert Eagle F-15, which wasn't available in the Kickstarter, and there's one or two other ones. The F-22, which also wasn't available, but I'm holding all the Kickstarter offers until those prints go out, and then the additional planes, like the A-10 and the F-4 and all the other ones that were part of the Kickstarter as an option, will be available for sale after those get shipped out. I don't want the backers to feel like, you know, we're selling them before they've gotten theirs. So, very cool. Thanks for supporting the game. Thanks for checking out the video updates. I'm going to also post a picture of the F4 Phantom with the camo scheme with my insignia test and a purple camo color, just so you can kind of get an idea of how that works more. I've been testing the white box of the Gator Island level, which is looking good. I'm trying out some different caves to sort of see, like, can I have a tunnel where you fly through one of the mountains or fly through the volcano and that sort of thing. And trying the different speeds. Like I said earlier, I had increased the speed, the travel speed of all the planes, and the game felt a lot better, a lot more interesting. But I've been testing with the F5, which doesn't have the best handling, and it was really starting to be frustrating. I was worried that maybe all of the handling numbers needed to come up, but when I just increased them by even 10%, it started to feel like everything handled too well, which is good, because that means the really maneuverable planes like the F-16 and the F-22 will feel light years more maneuverable than the A-10, which is how they should feel. But the travel speed overall feels really good. The game's really getting close. I was hoping to have it running on the Cintiq this week, which is a Windows 8 touch device. But Windows 8 handles touch input very strangely and different than how Unity sort of wants it handled by default. So it works on my phone. I haven't optimized any of the assets, so it runs not good, but all the buttons work, which is the important thing. So you can play the game on the phone already, but I would like to really get it mastered for Windows 8 Touch so that we can show it at PAX or other shows that we may go to on a Microsoft Surface or some other touch device. So I'm going to figure out how to get that worked out. I just think it's a more accessible experience to have it on a touch device than to even have a controller, which is still preferable to keyboard and mouse. I'm a PC gamer, but like that, you know, portion of the community is dwindling, I think, to some degree. Like, there are more people who grew up on Mario or N64s or now phones than there are that grew up playing Quake. So all of us WASD guys are a specific market now, and Wild Wings is way more accessible than that specific market. So we're going to figure that out, but it means I have to do some of the UI design specific to each control scheme. So I'm putting that off right now while I work on game features and get this Windows 8 Touch stuff. So there'll be more updates on that in the next days, weeks, etc., months, till we're ready to launch. We'll be ready with single player very soon, and the racing level as well. That will all that technology will be ready at basically the same time, and then we'll be adding split screen multiplayer, and then based on demand we'll add online multiplayer. But you'll be able to log in from anywhere, and your account stuff will transfer. So chipping away at the big project, but overall it's looking really good right now. It's really fun. Like, I can get sucked into definitely just flying around and blowing up the MiGs, and have to remind myself to do my job instead of just playing my job. So thanks for tuning in. I will try to give you more updates. If you have questions, ask questions. I'd love to answer them. So stay tuned for more stuff, and expect your rewards this month in the next few days and weeks. Thanks. Talk to you later.